My name is David Obaman, and I've been acquainted with the church, Bellevue Christian, for as long as I can remember, which goes way back. You know, I started as a toddler, just hardly able to walk, and my aunt introduced the whole family to Bellevue Christian, and she was kind of instrumental in getting me down here on my father and mother, and we became a Bellevue Christian Church family.
My name is Cindy Robertson. Been here since 1963. Grandma and Grandpap were first connected to the church through a woman named Mrs. Coffey. My grandfather came from England when he was 2. His sister brought him over shortly after his parents died, and she raised him. So she was the connection originally at the church here. And then my grandparents got married and started attending, and then that's where the connection began.
My name is Robertson, and I've been involved with Bellevue Christian for, oh my goodness, I can't remember.
I remember coming here as a little child, like 5, because we just lived down the street.
My name is Johnston. I came to Bellevue Christian Church in the fall of 1949 when my dad accepted the pastorate here. My wife became part of the church shortly after we were married in 1967, and except for an occasional foray out to other parts of the country, we have been here all the time.
My name is Nolan, and I've been coming to this church since I was born in 1964, and my family goes back in this church for 4 generations. So it goes from me to my parents, my mother's parents, and then my mother's father's grandmother. I can trace my great-grandmother back to at least 1917.
Well, my name is John Wesley Snyder, Jr. I'm known in the church here as Wes, and my mother brought me into the church here about a month after I was born. That was in 1933, and this October I'll be 88 years old, and I've been going to church ever since.
My name is Barbara Snyder. I've been in the church 58 years because I married Wes.
It's always hard when you have to think back real early, but one of the early ones, I had a great, as a little kid, church was over, I came up, I was looking for my dad. Frequently, Dad could be found talking to somebody back in that little room back there behind the baptistry. It used to have a felt curtain up. Unbeknownst to me, there had been a baptistry that morning. I came tearing across the screen to run through there to find Dad, pushed through the screen and was in midair, falling into the baptistry.
In 1946, I was baptized by my father, and that was a fond memory.
Do you remember being in the choir?
Yeah, I was in the choir, I don't know how many years, 4 or 5. I just came every Wednesday for practice, and
You had good friends here?
oh yeah, we had good times.
I remember just being in choir and going to circle activities, church meeting, any kind of function that we would have here. Like people would come in and sing. They were always looking for housing, like if college kids came to sing or something, and she would put some of those kids up.
My singing voice developed from Bellevue Christian Church choir. the organist. And she thought I was had a good voice and I should study. And that's when I started going from church to church to church, whoever would have me, you know. But the starter was here in Bellevue Christian Church, singing in the choir.
We had a group of women, and we were called Circle 1 and Circle 2. I don't know if you remember all the various churches that had circles, and consisted again of the women. And the purpose was we would host wedding and funeral receptions. The women would take care of all the supplies for communion, visit the shut-ins, or just help out in any area that was in need. So have memories of that too.
I think one of the main reasons I've stayed here so long is because of so many very caring people. For example, when I've sent prayer requests out, so many people follow up with me, whether by phone calls or emails or cards or face-to-face conversations. It just makes me feel like everybody really does care. And some people have even taken the extra step to reach out to my family in Tennessee, and that means just so much.
10 or 12 years ago, I had this picture in my mind. It was a vision, and it was a huge lighthouse on the front porch of the church. It was part of the building, and it was flashing. And I remember thinking, this church is a beacon. It's begging to draw people to it. And that's what I hope it stays, you know, for a long time.
My hope is, one, most importantly, we continue to listen to what God wants us to do, and doing our best to follow that. I think that's probably one of the most important things, and then hopefully that it will. I think it has become more of one, but hopefully will continue to be even more a beacon of light and of God's love to this wider community that's around here.
Church, of course, is where we need to learn and be taught, and certainly we've had good leadership. But we also need the fellowship of other Christians. We get so much support.
My hope is that this church can continue to love and support and care for each other, and to raise up future generations of ordinary people wanting to live everyday lives like Jesus.